Hello and welcome to North Texas Networkers, a show about introducing people across the community. I'm Caralee Gurney.
Hi, and I'm Stacy Rehab, and as realtors, we get an opportunity to meet lots of fascinating people, and this is our chance to introduce them to you.
And today we have Lisa D'Amato, and we are so glad to have her here. Welcome, Lisa. Lisa
Hi.
is a former, hello. Lisa is a former American top model with Tyra Banks. She was on season 5. She also was the winner person on season 17. She also grabbed the Shark Tank on Shark Tank, and we're going to talk about Dare You Go, right? Dare You Go. We'll talk about that today as well. And she also is now going to be the brand ambassador for Zelda Rose with our good friend Ronell Iannacci. So we'll talk about that today as well. But we want to get started with our first question, which is, Lisa, tell us about you, who you are. Tell us about it.
My name is Lisa Marie D'Amato. I am Italian and Spanish. I was born and raised in Southern California, modeling since I was 12 years old, and basically been in the industry all that time in Los Angeles and worked all over the globe modeling. So I lived in New York, I lived in New Zealand, Australia, Milan. I've lived a very full life, full of very full experiences within the industry with acting, hosting, singing, writing songs. I was a gymnast for many years, so I've done it all.
That sounds like a lot. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing. I mean, did you have all of this at the doorstep for you, or did you work really hard to get to all this?
It definitely was not something that was ready for me to grab. I was raised in a really abusive household. My parents got divorced when I was really young. I was going into 3rd grade when they got divorced, and then straight from there, I was exposed to mental, physical, sexual abuse, and also eating disorders. My mom was a very thick into the disease of bulimia. So, all of that kind of happened very quickly overnight, and the exposure to it all on a daily basis was extremely traumatizing, especially not being able to see my dad as often because he didn't win the custody battle. There was a custody battle, which was also traumatizing. So I think when I got into modeling, it was more of an escape for me to leave home and seek shelter, I guess, away from all of the abuse. And that's also something that you don't, when you're a kid and you're going through, you don't express it. So you kind of just sweep it under the rug, and your shoulders get really heavy from it. So, getting into the industry and with modeling, just to survive in the industry, they'll need a gymnast. They'll need somebody who can write songs. They'll need somebody who can dance. They'll need somebody who can host. And so a way of surviving in the industry, you basically don't want to lose jobs. So then within time, you develop crafts in all of it. It was more of survival. It wasn't necessarily what I wanted to fine tune me. It was more of like, I'm getting a job.
Yeah. Do you feel like some of that went with you? I mean, I know you talk about, with America's Next Top Model. I mean, you talk about the competition with the skill sets you have, but a lot of times models carry some of those diseases like your mom had with bulimia. I mean, did you feel like some of that came with you? Did you ever feel like that was a fight that you had to deal with in your own life?
Absolutely. My mom actually taught me how to be bulimic. She did it every single day in my household. Very exposed. She did not hide it. She would do it in the car, going through fast food drive-throughs, at home. It was constant, and it was the day to day, that exposure to it. So I think ultimately with that, and then getting into modeling, I think it was a way for her to kind of have control over me. And my way of like not being able to escape her in so many ways. it's very toxic, but like through the years, before even top model, I had been checked into the hospital because of it. I had been modeling for years with it when I was living in New York at 15 and then again 18. But by the time I was on top model at 24, I had already gotten myself well again. I was told by the doctors that I wouldn't be able to have children if I continued this, how I was just damaging my body so profusely. And so from that, I just knew that I never wanted to be like my mother. And I wanted to have children, and I wanted to raise them in a healthy environment. So I got myself healthy. I got rid of all my 00s and size 2s, and I just wore really baggy clothes, focused on eating healthy and building my metabolism back up with working out. And so by the time I had been on Top Model season 5, I was cured from that disease. Thankfully, I was a couple years clean, if you will, from eating disorders, but I still had a lot of other things that I had to work through as far as all the other traumas that I didn't really know were still there, even though I was grown up, that I later went to therapy for.
Wow, what an amazing story. And how do you encourage others in that aspect to, maybe not follow that path? Is there something that you do to mentor?
I didn't have a mentor per se. I've always looked to Madonna as inspiration, I think, in my life. And I think that is solely based on she just lived her own way. She didn't answer to anybody, and she just took control of her life and lived the way that she wanted to. So I think that was always inspiring to me. I always wanted to be a really strong, independent woman. And I wanted to do everything that my mom said that I wanted to go against what she always said I would be. So unfortunately, a lot of therapy is working through or putting a face to something that you don't want to be like. And so unfortunately, my mom is that person that therapeutically I work through. So for me, it was just, I was not going to be anything that she told me I was going to be, which is every bad word. You're going to be a loser. You're going to be on the streets one day. You'll probably be a drug addict. You're going to be nothing. You're going to be nothing, those types of things. So that is what fueled me to be a better version of myself. And I've just been blowing my own mind at what I've been able to achieve.
Well, I know we have so much more to talk about, but I don't want to leave without at least asking you this. Where is your mother today?
Well, according to Wikipedia, she's in prison. But no, she resides in California in her house, looking normal, acting normal in public, I'm sure.
So, all right. So tell us a little bit about how you found American Top Model. What was, your reason for doing that particular show?
Okay. So I think just a part of my character in general is I'm very daring. I always loved being, truth or dare growing up. I always like doing things that scare me. And so what happened is a bunch of the girls that I worked with waitressing, and I was still modeling in LA, so it was a side job. They watched Top Model all the time, and they would come to work and say oh my God, Lisa, you would kill it on this show. And I'd be like, oh yeah, tell me what do they do? And it's they do photo shoots, but the majority is they fight in the house and they do this. It's really competitive. And I was like, that sounds horrible. I would never want to do that. And they're like, no, but you would kill it because you're so funny and you're confident. And so you would just destroy the competition. And I'm like, okay, well, if you want to submit me for the show, go for it. So they came into my house. They filmed me while I was baking cookies. And just to make it funny, I put on a bathing suit. And then at that time I was painting a lot, and I was a wardrobe stylist as well. So I had my own line of dog sweaters that were raincoats, reversible hoodies. So that all my paintings were on the wall, and I was just really creative with my being a seamstress. And so I just showed all that. And also I think the reason why I was so appealing for the show is that you couldn't tell that I like wanted it. You know, like a lot of the girls in their audition tapes, I'm sure, were like, please pick me. And I was just like, I'm cool over here. I'm painting, baking cookies, and, you know, and then my friends would have a model. Yeah, I've modeled the majority of my life. So I think that maybe had something to do with it. It was more of a dare. And then come to find out, they were calling the restaurant and trying to set up when I can go to the studios and they can get me on camera and question me on tape. And so I went, and once again, I was just really sarcastic at being like, so when do I get my check? You know, and they're like, you haven't gotten on yet. And I'm like, oh, okay. So when will that be? Like, I was just really sarcastic and
so tell us what Celebrity Rehab is, because it sounds like season 5 was pretty dramatic, and then it led to some things along the way with season 17.
Going on top model, and you know, all the girls drank in the house. This is season 5 that I'm talking about. All the girls drank, and a lot of them more than me. But the way that they edited me and the times that I did drink was probably 4 days out of the whole 2 months that you film. They put it almost on every episode. So it looked like I was drinking every day, which was so not the case. But now in retrospect, it was like the perfect catalyst to get me into more deeper therapy from my childhood. And the reason why they did put me drinking a lot on all the episodes is because I was just such a fun drinker. Like, I would put a whole bottle of dishwashing soap in the jacuzzi, you know, so the bubbles were like over our heads. Or I would wear crazy outfits and just be like, you know, everyone just needs to calm down. You know, I'm more fun. So that makes sense. And luckily it was like the best catalyst to then go into Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew. Now, was I an alcoholic? Was I detoxing from anything? No, absolutely not. But it was also a great candidate for a lot of the audience of Celebrity Rehab to see what is warning signs of somebody who could get into addiction, and that can just catapult your whole entire life into like a really horrible direction. So that was basically my character on the show. So because of all of the abuse that I had been through growing up and not ever working through it or getting therapy for it, they were just huge warning signs for even the public to like make them realize that maybe you could get therapy instead of what the majority of people do is they sweep it under the rug and then they try to numb their feelings. And so I learned so much about myself and the way that people viewed me, and you know, a bit of a case of everybody owes me and nobody owes you anything. And in fact, like, you are in complete control of the destiny of your life. And so it was really great to reflect on who I am, who I want to be. And it was an amazing experience. And I'm actually super lucky because half of my cast is dead. Yeah. Heidi's life was my roommate.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then so was that episode then between the two America's Top Models? So when you went back on season 17 on the All Stars and walked away the winner, that must have just been a tremendous accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, nobody had a chance. Nobody had a chance. That was for me. And it's not. I'm not trying to say it in the way of like I'm the prettiest or the most talented or any of that. It was more of just like I was so strong emotionally. And I had been so incredibly disciplined for years before that now, because it was like 5 years in between. So I had worked on myself for so long. And then on top of that, the majority of the girls that were brought back on, they still were from small towns all over the United States. So they still didn't have the type of training that I had a lifetime in Los Angeles, you know, being a host, I toured for years in music, writing my own songs and performing them, acting, all types of, you name it. That was just survival for me. So when I say like nobody had a chance, it's not like nobody had a chance. It was just like, man, like I earned this. Like I knew deep down that it was my turn.
So I have to ask, I mean, I'm so impressed.
Right.
You've done so many things, and I love it that you've just proven the world wrong because you've become a success. You've said, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm a success. And I think that one day you were watching your kids and you just said, you know what, I'm so tired of them throwing their bowls across the room that I'm going to create something to stop them from doing that. So tell us about Dare You Go.
Yes. Okay. So there you go, right here. It is a 5-in-1 solution to help parents feed their kids on the go. I will show you exactly how it works because it's really cool. This is my friend's kid, by the way. It's Otto. Hi, Otto. I didn't even put my own kid on the box. Horrible. But his picture was just so perfect. Okay, so it's all one piece, as you can see. There's a spork that slides in right through the back. And if you lose this part, the spork, I made it the size of any generic utensil in any food court or restaurant. So dishwasher safe, microwave safe. The spork out for the microwave. Feels airtight. You do the back corner right here. Hold it there, slide across with your thumb, and bring it all the way around. You can fill this whole thing up with water. Nothing will fall out. And so it's a silicone bib, divider bowl, food storage unit, food catcher, and there's a spork in the back. So it's awesome. Food doesn't touch. And the reason why I created this especially is because my son, he won't eat anything if food touches. In fact, he'll get the arch back. He doesn't want it anymore. So it's really fantastic. I went on Shark Tank with this. And that's not mine. It's not my computer. Not me. I didn't do it. But yeah, my son, Los Angeles, where I live, has the worst traffic on the planet. That is a fact. And if you go anywhere, even down the street, it can take you up to 20 minutes. And when you're raising children and trying to multitask all day long, I wanted to feed my kids in the car. I just wanted it to be convenient, even with snacks. The thing you do the most with your kids is actually feed them. So nothing was working out. At the end of the day, I would come home and I'm riddled with dishes because I try to feed my kid healthy. I try to implement healthier meals on the go. So I do home cooking, but with food storage and Tupperware, you're trying to find the tops, the bottoms and also with the sippy cups, all the parts, it's just so annoying. And so by the end of the day, your to-do list has not been attacked, so you feel defeated. Then you need marriage counseling because you're arguing with your husband. I mean, I can't tell you how many people are like, oh my God, I don't even need marriage counseling anymore because of this product. And I'm like, I know, right? Like, it's the coolest thing. So I went on Shark Tank with this, which is the longest process ever. And, they don't really ever tell you a confirmed anything. So I just constantly kept threatening the executive producer's life and his family's well-being unless they put me on. And that worked. Threatening works. Just know that. And so I got on and I basically blew their minds. I did it kind of funky, but standing there for 2 hours straight getting grilled by these sharks was something else. And so I knew that it was going to be crazy. And being a veteran of reality TV, don't mess with me because I know the way it's going to go down. And so I just knew that I was going to go in there and talk to them all like children at a kitchen table as a mom and being like, okay, listen, I know you want your bread buttered. I know that you want more milk. And I know that you want, to go watch TV. I'm going to answer all your questions right now. But first, I'm going to tell you more about my product, and we're just going to talk about why I picked the color turquoise. You know what I mean? So, it was a great experience, and I got to deal with Barbara, the best one.
That's great.
Awesome.
I love that. That's an amazing story, and it seems like everything you've touched has turned to gold. And now you are a brand ambassador for Zelda Rose, and Zelda Rose is run by Ronell Iannachi and her sister, and they've got a storefront now up in Denison, Texas. So tell us a little bit about how the two of you connected and what your next plan is with Zelda Rose.
Okay, so we have a mutual friend by the name of Craig Malone, And what happened is he used to work with them back in the day. I had used him as a PR rep a few years ago, and then we reconnected because he watched me on Shark Tank, and he was like, "Of course, Lisa, you're on Shark Tank and invented this product. We should work together again." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm down." I'm super busy, obviously, with my product and my kids, and also I have a lot of modeling endorsements that go through the years. That's fantastic, but like I'm totally open to like get away from my kids and model, you know. So we set that all up, and now I'm here, and they're the most fabulous ladies. They're sisters, and they have this awesome store called Zelda Rose Boutique, and they sell a lot online on their Facebook. And like, here's a piece right here. We went to the big warehouse, and it's funny because even on Shark Tank, I was wearing big polka dots. I'm like, and I love Minnie Mouse, and I have Mickey Mouse's tattooed on the backs of my ankles, and it's just funny that like the last few times I've been on television, I'm always wearing big polka dots. I guess I'm Minnie Mouse, you know, you like, you know.
You look great. I love that outfit.
There's so many more. So you guys need to stop by their shop because they have the cutest things. We picked out these, like a sample of a Facebook Live we did yesterday. It's like these bell-bottomy metallic rainbow pants. It sounds really crazy, but they're the cutest thing. And they sold 4 of them yesterday, pre-ordered just from doing a Facebook Live. So definitely come here and check it out.
That's great. Well, I want to ask you a question before we go. And I think you and I just spoke about it briefly yesterday. If you did something else besides modeling, if you'd chosen a different career, what would it have been?
Oh, God, yes. Okay, so if I were to, and I want to just say this too, everybody, all the listeners, go to Zelda Rose VIP Boutique on Facebook and join because you get to see all these outfits and you can just order from your couch, you know? Okay. So if I weren't doing what I'm doing now, I know this sounds super crazy, but like I have so much fun squeegeeing at the end of the shower every day. And it's like instant results, instant gratification. And I think that I might have been a professional squeegeer and not just the normal kind, like at a gas station. I would do like the skyscrapers in New York where you're like up 200 floors because that's daring. And I'm such like a thrill seeker. So I might actually be a squeegeer. Weird, right?
That's awesome.
That might be the first time I've ever heard anybody say they want to be a squeegeer. That is an amazing.
I would watch them in the taxi cab, and they'd be so high up. And it was like instant gratification of like these huge squeegees. And I just watched them and be like, I could totally do that.
That's
weird.
Amazing.
Well, what is next for Lisa D'Amato?
What's next for me is quite a few things. So I have a reality show that's in the works. So we're working with that. And then my husband and I also, we have a couple TV. We were on Marriage Boot Camp together a couple of years ago, which was fun. So I think my husband and I might jump on another like couples show. Let's see what else. And then obviously just world domination just for the product. So we've been in business for a year and 2/3. And we're in 18 countries so far. So I'm just going to do like complete world domination with the product, do more influencer work for modeling because that whole business is booming, and just continue to be happy and healthy and raise beautiful, amazing boys that are contributing citizens of our society. I think that's a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely being a mom is one of the toughest jobs out there. And tell us a little bit more about your boys. What are they into? Do they have special interest?
Yes. My 5-year-old Daxel, he's very much personality-wise me, very outgoing, but he's very into entomology. So it's like insects and bugs. I'll put my hand in like the plastic handy wet wipe containers. and it'll be all sand in there. I'll pull it out and it's like my hands are little from sand because he's creating these little micro environments for that for bugs, and I'll put them all over the house. We'll use like our handy wipe container. So that's, I mean, he's legit super passionate. We also have a beehive where we're about to get like pounds of honey per month. So he has his whole bee suit and he likes to go in there and check on the bees. So my son Daxel's adorable with that. So I think he's really gonna be an entomologist. So that's pretty cool. And then my son Dennis, too, he's, I don't know, gonna be in like the WWE, WWF. Like he literally beat up my 5-year-old. He's 100 percentile in height and weight, and he's only like 5 pounds less than my 5-year-old. He's 2. He wears a size 4, and like he's obsessed with Batman and like eating carbs and candy. And so he's like one of those. It's funny. He doesn't do anything you ask him to do, so everything has to be on his terms. I'll tell him to smile, he'll just walk away. Whereas Daxel, you go smile, and he'll be like, you know, like how? Tell me which way. Yeah, Venice is opposite, and yeah, he's like one of those rats that you would like feed sugar, and even though the rat feels like they're getting sick, and they'll just keep eating it until their like actual stomach explodes. That's how it is with anything that he loves to eat. So I have to watch him because he'll literally like explode. So we have to watch his diet. We'll see how this goes. It's very hard to get him to eat like chicken breasts, even with like barbecue sauce. He just wants cookies. Like butter cookies. Yeah.
Well, Lisa, I would say I'm so impressed with you. You have come over so many obstacles in your life. It sounds like you're a terrific, wonderful, loving mother, and that's not an easy cycle to break. And I'm very impressed by that. And
thank you.
Just, you know, if there's somebody that is kind of in that situation, is there something that, you know, that you can tell them how to break that cycle? Is there some way to make sure that everybody can stop doing what they're doing and have that decision to go a different path?
Yes, absolutely. I really hope that people listen to what I'm about to say right now, because it is so incredibly important, and I am so passionate about the words that are going to come out of my mouth right now. In life, we spend so much time on things that don't matter. So like if you want to get your nails done, you go to a nail technician. If you want to get a car, you go to a car dealership. If you want to go to college, you go to school, right? But quality of life is you live the majority of your life between your ears. That is in your brain. Your brain is connected to your heart, which then controls your emotions. If you want to change your life, you need to get therapy, period. Because it's all the neural pathways of your brain, which are a pattern, and you need to break those. And the only way that you can break those is through therapy. So please, this is your life. You only live one life, regardless if you've gone to college or, you know, you work at McDonald's and barely graduated high school or still haven't. We can all agree that life is really, really short. So instead of masking it and just looking like the veneer of your life is put together, really, really dive in and change your life. Go to therapy, figure out how to improve it. The basic tools of living a better life with stronger relationships is the only way to seek happiness. And the only way to do that is through therapy. So the happiest people on the entire planet that feel like they have lived a super happy life, the reason is because they've had such amazing relationships with their friends and family. The only way to be able to do that is have healthy relationships. The only way that you can have healthy relationships is being able to have a healthy relationship with yourself. So you love thyself, you can love thy neighbor. Seek therapy, know that you're worth it, and live the best life that you possibly can.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
Thank you so much. You are such a blessing. I'm so glad that we were able to have you. Ronell and Sherry are so fortunate to have you at Zelda Rose as their brand ambassador. And I know you're going to do very well. I know Stacy feels the same way with the Dare You Go. And what a journey you have been on. So thank you for being a part of our show. I'll take a second out, too, to thank our sponsor, Craig Schrank with Willow Bend Mortgage. He's the one that makes it possible for us to have these shows. So, again, we thank him for being a part of this with us. So, thanks again. We appreciate Lisa D'Amato for being a part of this. Yes, we'll look forward to seeing you in your modeling clothes with Zelda Rose.
Check out Zelda Rose.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing some great things.
Yes, so you said that's ZeldaRose.com and then ZeldaRoseVIP.com if you want to look at some of the special things. Yes.
On Facebook, go to Zelda Rose VIP Boutique, and it's a private page, just so they don't have any trolls on there, And you can actually order from there. They do lives Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so you can pick out the coolest, newest clothes from there. So join that Facebook, and I'll see you there because I'll be on there too.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Caralee.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm Stacy.
And we are your real estate professionals.
Thank you for joining us on North Texas Networkers.
Visit our website, MariposaGroupDFW.com. That's MARIPOSA Group DFW.com for more information about the show and other resources. I'm Caralee.
And I'm Stacy.
And we are your real estate professionals.